Hunters, we are back after a couple of week hiatus. The one and only CueBall is back. This is episode 57 of CueBall's Bearded Rambles, and today I sit down with the podcast host of the Kyle Wrestling Podcast, the man himself, Kyle Rogers.
I tear the skin from the bone just to feel you. Baby,
How the hell are you doing, man? It's nice to see you again.
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
All good, all gravy, man, all good. I'm good to be back in front of this camera, so all these people at home watch and listen to me talk about random crap. But I'm back, that's the main thing. So, obviously, why am I doing this? Well, because last week, Kyle had me on his podcast. It was very good. I enjoyed it. It was good to actually be the person being interviewed for a change. We spoke about, my time in wrestling, about mental health, which is obviously important to me, as you punters know. It was just good, So any update for when that's coming out?
It'll be this week some point, yeah.
So there we go. Keep an eye on his channel. He's got a YouTube channel. What is it?
Kyle Wrestling.
There you go, Kyle Wrestling on YouTube. So go and give him a cheeky subscribe. So, quick before we start into the questions, how are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. I'm really good. Been busy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, like I said, I'm gravy. I'm all good. I'm good to go. So, should we get on with the questions?
Let's do it.
So, I know you've all been waiting for me to say this. Because it's been a while. So, Kyle, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Then, for the two in attendance, me and you, and for the dozens and dozens watching at home, cheesy. Oh, let's get ready to rumble! Cough. Kyle, where did the love of wrestling come from? Explain. Talk to me.
So I must have been I can't remember the age exactly, but I have a best friend, always been best friends, called Dave, and he's always been a big wrestling fan. He's a few years older than me, and I remember when I was younger, I used to go over his house and we would watch some WWE, and then it just started expanding. At home, Dad would put Sky One on. I must have been about 4 or 5, and we'd be watching, the highlights and stuff, like CM Punk. Oh, so many. I can't remember all the guys, but CM Punk was like one of the main guys that stuck out to me, But yeah, it all started off then.
So have you ever attended any wrestling shows, in like your local area or anything? Do you support indie wrestling, as they say?
Oh, I support indie wrestling, that's for sure. So I must have my mom said when I was a baby, they took me to my first ever wrestling show. I must have been a few weeks old. Called 4FW.
Yeah.
It was when they were really small. They just started all out, and I was a baby, and I remember mom telling me that I just cried my eyes out, didn't like it. They took me home, as a baby would do. Yeah. And then as I got a bit older, they took me again. My auntie took me this time, and I loved it. I think that the first show I remember was Prince Devitt, Finn Balor on the show, Dick Toga. There's so many different guys that was on the show, but yeah, Finn Balor was the main guy.
Nice, awesome. So, any other promotions you like to go and watch? What is the latest promotion you was able to watch before this COVID bollocks hit?
Progress
Wrestling. So,
yeah.
You say your favorite Progress Wrestling superstar out of the roster?
Oh, well, I was Paul Robinson, but then all the stuff that came out, I'm kind of wary at the moment,
Yeah.
It's a bit of shit, but it's one of those things at the moment. Who else? I like William Eva. Interviewed him. He's a really cool guy. Yeah. Pretty Deadly when they were with Progress. Spike 2A, he's awesome. There's so many on the back of my head,
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So, obviously, like I said on the introduction, you own your own wrestling podcast called the Kyle Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah.
So, what was the idea behind that? I mean, did you just think one day, like, dude, I'm gonna set my own podcast up. I'm gonna speak to all these independent wrestlers. Where did it come from and why?
So, it was pretty much just over a year ago. It was kind of that reason, but I was really in a really tough place with mental health and all the lockdown restrictions and things. No shows. There was hardly any wrestling on at the time because of only WWE and AEW, and it was a bit boring, And I thought, I want to cheer people up and cheer myself up. So I thought, do you know what? I'll just try, you know. So the day later, I just wrote everything that I wanted to do down, and I made the podcast on YouTube. I got logos made and stuff, and car wrestling popped in my head. I couldn't think of anything creative, and I just thought, you know what, car wrestling sounds cool, you know. So we went with car wrestling, and yeah, it just pretty much progressed from there, really.
Yeah, and I know you're almost at 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
I think you're currently on 88 from my
yeah.
searching. So you know, if anybody's interested in Kyle's podcast, or you just want to be friendly, just give us a page, YouTube channel, a subscribe. Just
Please do, guys, if you can, then I'll be very appreciative. You know, when we get to 100, I'm hoping to do like some sort of like giveaway or something cool, you know, or hopefully get a big guest on. So yeah.
So you've had a handful of guests on already. I think your recent one was Chuck Mambo. Funny enough, my recent one was Chuck Mambo as well.
Oh, wow.
We go way back, me and Chuck, back in the day,
that's awesome.
PWG and Pro VW days. You know, you can check that out. I'm just a cheeky plug on that one. But yeah. So who are your favorite? Who are your favorite guests and why?
So
If you can choose. I mean, everybody is good in their own way, but you know.
You know, I it's really hard to say a favorite because all the guests I've had are all like amazing people. But I think the best one I've had was pretty much at the start, and that was William Eva. That was one of the best ones I've ever had, you know, opened so many opportunities for me. Right. And then as the line went down a bit, John Scott from Powered4 TV, that was one of my best ones at the time.
Yeah.
And it opened so many doors for me, you know, with Powered4 TV and then the sponsorships. Yeah. And just everything else. But my favourite one was what I done last week was with oh, my head's gone blank now. It was Charles Crowley. That was probably one of the best ones going. Like, I just felt so comfortable, you know, and if you've seen any of my older stuff compared to the newer stuff, it's like a different person, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Don't know where I'm at now, can't remember. So obviously, like I said, you've had Chuck Mambo on, you had me on, which is awesome. You've had Charles Crowley on. So when will that be released, and is there anything you can say about it, like, you know, that you're willing to release on here, or you're going to make everybody wait to hear?
I'm sure I can say a few things about it. So it'll be released probably next week. And honestly, you want to wait for this interview. Well, you don't want to wait, I mean, but it's like it's a really short interview, but it's so in depth. Like how he come out with his character and things is just insane. Absolutely fucking insane. Like what he was telling me about when he started training was he as normal wrestlers, you know, most wrestlers come in with the bumps and things, but he started off with like all the, like, you know, the acting and all that kind of stuff first. So he knew what he was doing in that aspect, but then it took him longer to become an actual wrestler. I'm trying to remember what he said, but yeah, it took him a bit longer to become an actual wrestler because like he didn't have the bumps and things. He was more about the acting side of it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, you know, the acting side of wrestling is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Look forward to it. But I mean, when it comes out on your channel, I will be watching it myself because it sounds interesting. So you said you had a few sponsors, yeah?
Yeah.
So give them a cheeky plug. Who are they?
Right, so we got Superstar Pro Wrestling, Jay Apter's company in Liverpool. Sadly, I couldn't make it to their show yesterday, but yeah, Superstar Pro Wrestling, absolutely awesome guys. The owner for TNT Extreme Wrestling, Ignition, and Superstar Pro Wrestling, absolute great guy. So plug to Jay Apter and Superstar. And then you got 1310 Apparel, and they're amazing. Josh is absolutely an awesome guy, you know, and make sure you check both of those guys out. I think Superstar Pro Wrestling's next show is on the 7th of August, my actual birthday, my 18th. So I'm hoping to go down to Liverpool for that one. But yeah, no, they're awesome guys.
I believe you're, I don't know if you are now, but you were sponsored by Pro Wrestling Carnage. Am I correct?
I was, yeah.
So what was the idea behind that one then? Obviously, you got the apparel, which is clothing, I assume. I think that's what it is. You got the Powered4 TV. I know you're in partners with them, but we will go into that in a sec. Yeah. So what was behind Pro Wrestling Carnage? Why did you go to them and say, can you sponsor me?
So I think it must have been about October time last year, and I was kind of at the point where I wanted to expand and I wanted that help because I was really struggling. I was getting rejected a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And those guys were absolutely the best, but it just didn't work out in the end.
Right.
No, nothing bad against the guys or anything, you know. We just didn't have the right partnership at the time.
Right.
You know.
And is it something you would like to go back to?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely. I think as the time will go on, I think we could see another a brand new sponsorship with them.
Yeah. Well, guys, the guys at Pro Wrestling Carnage, PXB, whoever you are, give this guy another chance, okay? And do you know why? Because CueBall has said so. So whatever I say, you should do. Give Kyle another chance, for Christ's sake. Anyway, he's a good, decent lad. So is there anywhere down the line that you're thinking of becoming an actual wrestler yourself, or are you just going to be focusing on podcasting?
So I'm kind of in two minds at the moment. So I'm starting the gym today, get fit, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a side of me that wants to become a wrestler because I'm not an actor or anything. But like this sounds really weird, but I pretend to wrestle, you know, in the garden and stuff.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. Most wrestling fans, I believe, do it. And you know, like listening to the theme tunes and stuff and coming out to it. I've always had that part of me where like I go like proper into it, like I'm actually like in front of a crowd and stuff. So there's a possibility maybe one day I might train, but with my, you know, health and stuff, it's probably not ideal at the moment.
Never say never, bro. Never
say never, bro.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
So if a company come to you and said, you know, we're not looking for a wrestler right now, but we're looking for somebody who can interview the guys, you know, backstage stuff, segments and all that, would this be something that you'd be interested in?
100% yes, absolutely. So since I started my dream on becoming a podcaster, my whole goal for the whole year has been to become a full-time, well, not full-time, but you know, like a backstage interviewer for shows, and that's like my goal. It's just to immerse myself with it. Yeah. And like, because I have a lot of energy most of the time when I'm interviewing, I think I could probably, you know, make something work with it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've watched a few of your older videos, and your like I said to you the other day,
yeah,
your confidence levels are just straight, you know, they're going straight up, man. And it's good to see, you know, you need to find that. You know, when I first started doing these, it's a bit like, oh, hello, welcome, and
yeah.
As you do more, whoa, over the top, you know, turn it to 11 kind of thing. You know, it's just trying to find that confidence, trying to find your balance, trying to just be that fucking mind-blowing fuck.
Definitely.
Kind of. So yeah, so you are partnered with Powered4 TV. So how did that come about, and what's down the pipelines with them?
Okay, so this came about, it was pretty much a year ago now, actually. So I interviewed I think he's the owner or the co-owner, I get confused, but so I interviewed John Scott, absolutely awesome guy, and we did our interview. It wasn't the best of interviews, and then afterwards I explained to him how I got rejected and things, and he was like, do you know what, I'll give you a chance. When Powered4 TV become a thing, we give you a chance. So I didn't think much of it, you know, because I've been let down so many times in the past.
Yeah.
And when it actually came to Powered4 TV being a thing, I had a friend request from a guy called Richard, and I was like, who's this? And it was actually the owner, John Scott's partner. Right. And he was like, I want to offer you like pretty much a job with us, you know. It's not a paid job, but where I do things for them when I can and when they want me to, basically. Yeah. And like all my stuff's always on their website, and they're always plugging me in things. Yeah. And honestly, it's one of the best things that happened to me. So make sure you check Powered4 TV out. They've got some absolutely banging shows on there, you know.
So since being with them, would you say your viewings has gone up on your channel?
Yeah, I think they have a bit, yeah. Like, it depends on the video, really, because when I started on my own, I was getting like 100 views, just like no interviews. But then as I started interviewing, people like didn't kind of feel as interested in it, and like it kind of dropped down a little bit. But it depends on the interview and who plugs it and things, you know. Yeah. Then the views will go up, but it just all depends, really. Yeah,
definitely. So to anybody who is looking to start podcasting, there's loads of us in this podcast community. What would you say? What's one thing you would say to this person who is looking to become a podcast host?
Well, make sure you know what you're talking about. That's like absolute key.
Yeah, it kind of does help, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, knowing what you talking like, you got to be confident. I'm not saying I'm the best podcaster in the world, but I know some people that are like have some of the best wrestling podcasts in the UK and the world, like Simon Hill, Stewie John Palmer. Those two guys have helped me so much during the last few months with getting this podcast up again.
Right.
Because some people might not know this, but I had a few months off due to mental health and things, which I take it we'll probably get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, that's the next question, man. Next question.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So like things happened and I took a bit of time off, and so just when people give you advice, don't take it the wrong way. And if they're saying to you like you need to change this and do this, don't take it the wrong way, because it will help you.
Yeah.
I know this from past, and it really does help when you get that, like people knowing what they're talking about, telling you not what to do, but like giving you advice and things. Always listen to them because they know what they're talking about,
Yeah, definitely. And make sure you have a laptop of some sort. Or
don't do it on your phone. I know this. Don't do it on your phone.
Get a decent camera as well. That always helps. Mine's a bit fuzzy today, but I think that's because...
Yeah, so is mine, actually.
I think it's because I haven't cleaned it, come to think of it. But yeah, YouTube, it's easy to set up a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And there are some people who just do like to listen to you talk, like me. I just started this during lockdown because I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. It was never meant to get this far. And for some reason, people like to listen to me talk shit. And I don't know why. Still to this day, I don't know why. But, the good thing about this is, I've made new friends, new followers, people I thought I'd never ever speak to or become friendly with. And that's a good thing about it. That's one good positive thing that's come out of it. Speaking of positives, let's go on to mental health. Now, as my followers know, I'm a sufferer of mental health. One of the reasons why I haven't been doing this lately, but now I'm back. I'm not sure if you do, well, you just said you did, but how do you deal with mental health on a daily kind of scale, if that makes sense?
So I struggle big time with mental health, every single day. I have loads of different problems, but mental health is one of the big ones. Good. And I kind of like, if I ever need to talk to someone, Powered4 TV are always there. They're not only just like my partners in crime, but they're also there to talk. And I think it's key, absolutely key, to speak about how you're feeling, because there have been the darkest times for me, where I've had no one. And when you talk things through, it kind of feels, your brain kind of feels a bit clearer,
Yeah.
Just always talk things through. But mental health for me is a big struggle. That's one of the reasons I stopped podcasting for a couple of months, was due to that. I was cancelling interviews. I couldn't do it, and now I'm back bigger and stronger because I've spoke things through and I've gave time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always encouraged, male, female, non-binary, whatever you are, I've always encouraged people to try and talk. I mean, it's easier said than done. From experience, I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's just taking that first step. Or I would say the first step to, knowing you have getting help, that's better, is accepting you have depression or anxiety or bipolar or whatever you have, just some sort of mental health. You need to accept it yourself. And then after that, it's getting yourself some help. You don't need, people deal with it differently. Some people go down the professional route, like doctors and all that. Some people can find other ways of dealing with things. I went down the doctor route. I had medication, didn't work for me. It made me worse, if anything. But I found out that by eating clean, eating all the right stuff that we should be eating, being on this diet, I've lost half stone. Whoa. 3-time man of the year for Slim and
Wonderful. Nice one.
3-time.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just gonna boast about that. It's really helped me, mentally. I am, but sometimes my demons do come out, but that's okay. It can happen. It's okay. And the main thing is, there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you need to talk to somebody, try and speak to somebody. It doesn't need to be your family, doesn't need to be your friend. You can reach out to anybody, especially me. I've always encouraged try and speak to me. You won't get unbiased opinions or biased whatever. But yeah, try and talk to somebody. Would you say that's right?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you feel you can't talk to anyone that isn't a professional, you know, there's so many like helplines and things you can talk to, like Samaritans. There's so many different ones, you know. You can just Google it and stuff, and just put it in your phone, and you know. And then if you do need to talk to someone and you can't talk to any of us or your friends, family, you know, then just ring them and they're there to help. Yeah. And I mean, like you said, you're always there to talk. I'm always here to talk. I have a lot of experience, you know. I'm no trained person, but I know what I'm talking about in a way.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, if you've experienced mental health, then you can pass some knowledge on. It's not even knowledge as such. It's just in your experiences, you can help people with your own experiences, how you dealt with things. Like mine is with the dieting, eating clean, you know, because you eating all that junk food, you know, eventually catches up to you. I mean, there's been days where I've ate junk food for about a week, and within that week, I'm shot in the air because my mental health is gone down. But as soon as I start eating better, I'm back up like I am now, just crazy. So what's next for the Kyle Wrestling Podcast, or for Kyle Rogers? What is next for you, brother?
Oh man, there's a lot of big things.
Any guests that are coming on you want to be like, oh, I'm going to tell you now and all that crap?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, and I can't say too much because it's still in the works. You especially know what it is, but obviously we can't say but it's still Ring of Honor, and you guys might know. I have a favorite wrestler. Can't really say who it is, but he's wrestled for Progress, and now he's in Ring of Honor. He's from the UK. And yeah, if it goes through, then we're going to be getting him on. So yeah, and we're just going to keep trying, you know, and just keep pushing and try and get some more interviews, whether it's big people, you know, coming up stars, mid-carder, you know, we're just going to keep pushing and hopefully get there. Well,
you got my support, as you know, like I said to you last week. If it's about the person I think you're talking about, many, many years ago, I used to train his wife.
Wow.
Before they were together and all that.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
I think it is who I'm talking about. Yeah.
I'll ask you after, because I'm sure I know who you're talking about, but I don't know who your favorite wrestler is. But cool. So that's that. Is there anything else you would like to shout out, promote, anything?
Well, go subscribe to my channel. We're literally 12 away from 100. That's one big thing. One big thing for me. There's people that, you know, goals are like 1,000. Mine is just 100 at the moment, and then we just go up and up and up. But you know, so make sure you subscribe to me. I've got Instagram, Kyle Rogers 9977. It has all my wrestling stuff on there. I'm not sure on my Twitter, but I'll send it to you and you can do whatever, you know.
Cool.
But yeah, that's about it. And shout out to Powered4 TV and Superstar for Wrestling and 1310 Apparel. And shout out to you for having me on.
No worries, man. Thank you very much. You had me on your podcast last week, so this is my way of returning the favor. We're helping each other out, man.
Yeah,
we're helping each other out. You know, we're both podcast hosts. We need to be sticking together. We need to help each other out. So that concludes today's Rambles. Quick shout out to my sponsors now. Fairy Glen Brewery. They are an alcoholic company. We also have Undisputed Collectibles. They are a memorabilia and an autograph kind of company. You go and check them out on Facebook. Submission Scoundrels, they're a clothing brand. 15% off when you type in Rambles 15. Forgotten Songs Apparel, again, another clothing brand. And if I'm missing any, I do apologize, but you will be featured on the next one. So this has been the one and only, the podcast host of the Kyle Wrestling Podcast, Kyle Rogers. And I have been the most over wrestler in Wales. I'm not, but still. The beer drinking, heavy metal listening, bald-headed broad at CueBall. Stay safe, stay positive, catch you in the next one. #, yeah!